Hi everyone, my name is Lydia and this is what I wish they taught me about econometrics and introduction. We've seen a lot of material so far. We've dived so much in deep into the statistical properties of OLS, the assumptions that are needed, and we have emphasized quite a lot now that we need to make sure these assumptions are fulfilled if we want OLS to be our blue estimation with the lowest variance. So in this video, we're going to summarize some of the main issues that you will see when one of the assumptions is not fulfilled, but also other issues that you mostly see with OLS. We'll also, in the end, do a little bit of a summary of the things that we have seen and things that we still need to see before we can say that we now know quite a lot about OLS. So without further ado, let's look at the issues. There's going to be 6 main issues that we're just going to read through today. Each of them requires going into in deep to more details on especially where it comes from and how does that affect your estimations. So for now, just take it as face value that these are the issues that you're going to see. The first one is omitted variable bias. And we've emphasized quite a few times now that this will definitely come when the fifth assumption is violated. We'll have reverse causality because unfortunately, sometimes variables are connected in such a way that while you have a y variable that is affecting your x variable, there's also going to be x variables that will affect your y variable. So in those kind of cases, we need a different way of dealing with our estimation. And we're going to come back to this issue when we learn a new estimation method called IV, or 2SLS for some of you. The third one is non-random sampling. We've mentioned this also quite a bit, and we sort of said that we've always wanted our x variables to be exogenous, not endogenous. So in the cases where you have endogeneity issues, it's very likely you're going to see the non-random sampling issues as well. So we're going to look into more detail on like what are the setups that non-random sampling tries to show in, and especially how do we deal with it. Outliers, measurement error, which unfortunately will be there for variables that we cannot measure very well. Sometimes, especially when dealing with surveys, you don't necessarily trust all of the data or the numbers that people sometimes might put in there. And the measurement error is going to be a very special type of issue because we're going to see the measurement error when the error is made on the y variable and the case when the measurement error is made on the x variable, because the consequences are quite different between the two. The last issue is heteroscedasticity, meaning when we don't have the assumption of homoscedasticity. We've talked actually quite extensively about heteroscedasticity. We've even seen the graphical version, so that's why I'm adding this little bit of information here. So heteroscedasticity, when assumption 6 is violated, the consequences are that the estimated standard errors are wrong, and all our t-tests or f-tests are going to be useless, and OLS is no longer our blue estimator with the lowest variance. Now that we know the issues, we still have to go more in depth into all of them, but let's have a checklist of all of the things that we have seen and we still need to see in more depth as we go along in our videos. So, summary of OLS, things you need to know. Properties of the OLS. We have seen both mechanical and statistical properties. And for statistical properties, we've also seen the assumptions. So for this particular item, we can tick it. We've seen all that we need to see about them. Formulas for the OLS estimators. Not only do we know the formulas, but we also derived them. And we've got both the scalar and the matrix version for it. So make sure you revise those videos in case you need a quick reminder. We talked about the concept of the sum of squared residuals, especially when we did the derivation of the OLS estimators. We have also a video on why it's important to look into the sum of squared residuals. So while ticking this, make sure you revise the concepts. One more thing that we saw was also the distinction between the error term and the residual, and why it was so important to know the distinction between the two. We just saw issues with OLS, though I'm going to put a star on it because we're going to go more in depth for each and every of the issues that we saw of the OLS. So let's say this is our work in progress for now. We're going to see interpretation of the model coefficients. We're going to learn about dummy and interaction variables, and then regression. So in the regression bit, we're gonna go through quite a big list of things that we need to know. First of all, we've seen so far that regressions can be single or univariate, or we can have multiple variate regressions or multivariate regression. Okay. So further things that we will need to know will be how to interpret all details in either stata or R for a regression. We're going to talk about this idea of partial effect or marginal effect. We'll need to learn about the R squared versus the adjusted R square. We're going to need to know more about standard errors and what is their relation to t-tests and f-tests. We're going to have to learn about hypothesis testing. And what's the relation between an hypothesis testing done through t-test or through a p-value test. Here you can also do f-test. And then hypothesis testing can also go for a particular variable or for the significance of a model. We need to know what are confidence intervals and how do we construct them. And one last thing that it's quite important, and actually I'm going to put that into red, is regression anatomy. So this is a list of all the things that you need to know usually to perform quite well for an econometrics university level course. These are also the things that we will be working on together. So as you see so far, we've only covered the tip of the iceberg, and there's quite a lot more exciting stuff coming up. So I hope this summary video was helpful to get all of the ideas together and also give you an idea of the longer journey that awaits in front of you. But this is going to be an exciting journey, which I look forward to do with you. So stay connected, and I'll see you in the next video.